This is the fourth chain thrift store, the one nobody thinks about, but actually I've found really good things in Volunteers of America thrift stores. They're not as common as the other chain thrifts, but they are all over the country in various places. I'm in Lansing, Michigan on the west side of town. I've been to one of these in Everett, Washington, and I know there was one in San Francisco because Jefferson Airplane's last big hit in 1969 was Volunteers of America, inspired by Grace Slick seeing their pickup van going down the streets of her neighborhood. Well, it's not Wacky Wednesday, but let's see what's in here. I see a pair of old binoculars for $25 and an Indiana sandwich pattern, amber double big dish for $20, so no real bargains yet, unless you're here on the 20th. But we'll see what else is in the store. VOA is a faith-based organization and supports housing and mental health. Follow that cart, it's just coming out from the back. I see a Princess House vase and some general housewares, but nothing I need. Little chrome art deco pieces here, very thin stamped stainless. This is an example that old things, you know, these are in great shape, but they're not high quality. There was good, better, and best in the old days, and that meant, is it good quality or really good quality or premium quality? Now $1.51 for these cute little dogwood painted blue shakers would be fine if it wasn't for the chip on the one. 1930s Japan. This false graph pattern at this point for only $2.02. Being a little poorer that is practical and usable, that might be a piece that would sell online. Maybe they'll bring more cards. Here's a nice little cup and saucer. It's rather thick and heavy though, and that makes me think it might be newer. And indeed made in China. If you felt an English porcelain cup and saucer, the walls would be half this thick. Here's another one, very heavy feeling. Courier knives appears in almost every thrift store in some small amount because it was so popular back in the day. Here's a cute looking bowl. Again, is this a new one or an old one? I think this is older. Yes, it is an old Noritake from the 30s, $3, great price, but a chip there. It's a shame. It's hand painted. It has nice details. The reason I wasn't sure at first, until I looked at the gold being worn off on the high points, is because there are some current Southeast Asian porcelains that are being painted in a similar manner. They're not trying to look like Nippon, and they don't say Nippon. It's not really the weeping gold because it doesn't have the texture. It's just the 22 karat gold finish that was done around the same time in the late 50s, early 60s, but it did tend to wear through. These were done by firing a gold layer on top of an existing vitrified layer, so eventually it would wear off. Manatee, someone took a trip to Florida. This little creamer is 70s, and it's made to look like Heath or Denby, that it is a West German stone, where the Germans were more Me Too as far as ceramics, but they made some interesting looking stuff that definitely fit the modern vibe. Well, I'm not finding a lot here, but I'm going to see if one more cart comes out, if maybe we'll have some luck. It's not that it isn't a big store, it certainly is, and there's a lot of things in it, but I'm just not seeing the stuff that I look for particularly. This is a neat looking vase down here. Let's see what we can find out about it. It's metal, it's very thin, it is not particularly old, it's a little scuffed. And on the bottom, their price is good. It's a third of what it was new, so they're pricing things fairly here. I will say that about this store. If they had anything vintage that they didn't have up in their showcase, I suspect that it would be priced fairly. I hear a very wobbly cart coming back. Let's see what the next load is. It is fun being here when they bring them. Well, I'm going to go follow her again. Some Miss America glass and a little early American pattern glass, another George Foreman grills. Boy, they certainly made lots of George Foreman grills. We joke about it in the estate sale business. It's the Penguin hot cold keeper of the modern era. So far, the percolator is my favorite thing. Everybody had these in the 70s. Look at the avocado color. Unfortunately, if that's the best thing here, I think I'm going to have a short time here. But like I said, I have found really wonderful, valuable things in Volunteers of America stores. So they're just stocking for the day. If I had time to hang out, well, maybe I'd find something great, but I kind of think this isn't my morning. Ah yes, decoupage Masonic clocks from the 80s. A little later version of a carom board. But again, Carom boards are something we need to find a new use for. $3.53. Well, it was a short but sweet visit. I didn't find anything this time. Thrift stores are like that. I do still think that the Volunteers of America is a place to look if you have one in your area. I found a pair of plates worth $50 each once at the Volunteers of America for $4 each. So believe me, it's just like any thrift store. It's hit or miss. They were just putting things out, and that's a good tip too. Find out when they put things out every day, and if it's time you can be there. Well, anybody could have just walked up and had their pick of anything they take out. So maybe someone will score something big today right after I leave. Who knows? I hope so. I'm in the middle of Middleton, Michigan, and behind me is Carriage House Antiques. Middleton is the middle of nowhere, but it is a town that has an antique store, and I think I saw a sign that it's moving and having a sale, so we're going to take a look at that. This is near where a friend of mine lives. A friend in the antique business, in fact, who knows this fellow and brought me to this shop once before, and I remember finding some neat things even then. So he's open and I'm going to take a chance. Well, the first thing about this place is it's big and it's got a lot of beautiful furniture, but it's got a lot of other things too. They are slowly moving this to a location about an hour north of here, up in more of a tourist area apparently. But wow, look at the carving and the burl and the very, very handsome marbling. These are European pieces, and they are trying to get everything in there. Angels and cupids and sleeping babies and faces everywhere you look. I think Victorian furniture, and when you get into this high style stuff, is just fascinating because of all of the different elements. And look how nicely that's matched in the middle there. So you get that geometric pattern. It's really cool. This is a really, really high-end piece. The condition seems to be very good. It's part of a 3-piece set, and they are asking a large price for it, but you're not going to see a whole lot of these sets intact anymore. These would have been in manors in Europe and some sent over to America 150 years ago. Hello all. English pub sign for the Dolphin in Charrington. That's neat looking. 1950s, I would guess. This is a repair project, but this little 1930s vanity with the inlays has a clock set in the back of it, which I think is a really cool feature. And it's not all ancient stuff. Look at this chair. Look at this color. Yeah, I thought that was a Herman Miller. $14.95. I imagine it's a little scuffed and a little stained, but I think it could be cleaned. You wouldn't have to change the upholstery, which looks original. That might be able to be cleaned up a little bit, and if it could, I could see this selling for double, because original upholstery counts for a lot nowadays. A lot of it has had to be changed. Look at this easel too. This is really handsome. 1880s, 1890s. All of the American Eastlake design, and then the inlay with the hat and the sheets of wheat. That's your panel where you keep your folios. Cool case in here too. Old seltzer bottle. These have a great shape. Jelly molds that are Art Deco in shape are really almost architectural in nature. There's a better look at them through the glass. Old adding machine base. This is a beautiful slag glass lamp. It's priced at $2,200, but great color in the contrast and the bicolor. All of that makes that a little more special. And then this is incredible. A dance hall coffin music box. Shipping date 1904, and it says it has both of the keys and it's $15,000. That's about the right price for a music box of this size and quality. Boy, I see a lot of things I really like here, but I am not really in a position to buy furniture today. Thread cabinet, that's a pretty reasonable price. RB is not one of the bigger companies, which to me makes it more interesting, and it's $2.95, so I think their prices are reasonable for what they have, because what they have is really good. Tech-built drawing board set. First aid for drawing. $8. Tap and die sets. This is a Snap-on. Snap-on Tools, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Blue Point. And yes, it's used, but it's pretty intact, and $25 is a lot less than a new one would cost, and Snap-on probably would still guarantee that. Fruit drinks. Gordon, Elsie. Opera lamp is cool because of the height, and it's attached to a table. This is the sort of thing I got here last time. Some of these old store displays and things I thought were fun. This one is for twine, with the twine, $55. But you get all the twine you could ever use. These kitty rubber drums from the 50s, $15 each on those. That's actually, again, those are prices that you actually might be able to make a little money depending where and how you sell, or if you specialize. Coast Defense Gun, I wish that was in there. More antiques upstairs. Now we're in Michigan, and Michigan was an important state with lots of money in the Victorian era, so you're going to see some really amazing upholstered furniture. This piece has obviously been reupholstered, but it's quite marvelous for a Victorian settee and side chairs in a parlor set. And then this is a really interesting repurpose. I like the way they use the old section of cast iron gating or fencing and mounted it on a wooden base. This is really beautiful with the tiled backsplash. This is going to be a European piece again. And this piece, I just really like all the design. If you had the place for something like this, the rings, the patterning, it's just got a lot of depth and interest. I wouldn't get tired of looking at something like this. I mean, this is custom work. Think what you would pay for that if you had it made now. Probably about $59.95, but this one was done in the 1880s. Let's see what's upstairs. Hey, another carom board. We're seeing those all over. All right, what else do we have? We have wagons, some architectural parts, an interesting folksy looking wooden pull toy cart for $45. Wow, think what you could do with these. They're the feet from probably some old stove. Imagine what they could be the feet to now. A planter, a bench, lots of pulleys, lots of the kind of things that people seem to be able to use and repurpose and find new things to do with. And again, every so often you'll see a more modern looking design pop up in the middle. Only $45 because it's pretty worn, but it is leather. 3-piece set, $6.50. I used to be able to get those prices. It's a little hard where I sell anymore, but they are really beautiful if this is your style. On the other hand, $50 for this Art Deco ashtray. It needs to be cleaned up, but that's actually not a bad deal. I think with cleaning in the right place, that might sell for $100. Bird's Eye Maple was so popular in the 1920s, and this little vanity is only $185. It seems to be something people either love or they don't know what to do with, but it mixes well with maple and other fruit woods, and I really like the bird's eye. The veneer on the front. It's just very warm and glowing to me. This is a utilitarian one, but because it's got the copper ball, that this is a lightning rod, and it's $65. Around here, $65, well, you see these all the time. Where I'm from, out west, you would see $125 on this same one, which is why I think I'm about to buy it. This is neat. It's got the springs in it. These are English, and you can see the markup on the collar there. These will be Victorian era, and they're spring loaded so that the candle continues to grow and move up as the flame is there, and there would have been a globe, so the flame would have been protected and not blown out in wind. These are great sconces, $5.75 for the pair. A whole lot of old painted Dutch clogs. We're not too far from Holland, Michigan, which is a big tourist place here. Like the scale here because it's got all the weights. Sigmoidoscopes from the 1920s in the original box. People do like this old medical equipment. Hold still. Very nice little cigarette box. $29 is really not a bad deal at all. I'm not seeing a lot of these days. And then this one with the butterflies is interesting with the little inlays. Below the copper set there, we have 3 pieces of Roseville pottery, water lily in 2 different colors, and the blossoms in between. I'm paying more attention to things that look like this now because some of the earlier ones that were made in the USA or Italy are worth some money. This one is Italian, and they have $165 on it, so they have caught on to that as well. I love old grocery store stuff. These are great. The old small town store dividers. Hey, if you're having fun, please hit thumbs up to like this, and please leave a comment, and please do subscribe if you haven't. It does not cost you anything, and we will give you everything that we can in return. So what a deal. Michigan was still a big thriving powerhouse economically in the 50s and 60s, so you're gonna see modernism. I really like this Murano dish. I'm not sure that I can get it for a price that I would want to pay, because I see their prices on some of these are about where they should be, but I like the little shells for 20. Sometimes these are really good makers. I don't know that these are as good quality as the ones that are high-end, and I'm not seeing any etched signatures, but they can be very obscure. It can be hard to spot. These appear to be salviati up here, and these are the real treasure in here. There's only a single candle holder, but even still, and then the compote is just beautiful, so I think we're going to take this up. Boy's Life, that was something that they tried to sign us up to get when we were in Boy Scouts. They made fun of it in the movie Airplane, if you remember that. 1956, 100%. This dental cabinet is really great, and it's got a mirror in it as well, and look at the way that it rolls up like a roll top. All of the drawers beautifully restored. It's got the glass panels for you to do your work, and then a cabinet below. $49.95, but what a great piece. I mean, these are really, really great pieces of Victorian furniture like we used to see when I first was involved with this. Most of this has gone into collections and Victorian restored homes, so it's just a pleasure to be finding all of this here, even just to look at. I like this book stand. I think this one's English because of the design in the brass, maybe even Scottish. I'm not sure, we can tell. Just says Victoria. Oh, yes. It was 89 pounds at one point, so yes, apparently it was English.
I think it says Sanford. I think it says Sanford.
And they said it slides, so it must open this way. I like book slides a lot. I don't know that I would be able to afford that, but it's very nice looking. They don't have a lot of primitive and folk stuff, but this one is really great. Look at the rabbits painted on it. That looks like old paint, maybe 1930s. Very cute, $250. And this Italian marble bust is amazing. She's an architectural piece. You can see part of the concrete. They rescued her. $10,000. Where are you going to find another one? Amazing. This bed is so tall that you need a stand because people slept up in bed. You slept upright on pillows against the headboard when you had these big old things. You did not lay flat in the bed. That's part of why they're so short. That's why not everybody can use these now, but if you can, wow, what an amazing, amazing set. There were a lot of good furniture makers in Michigan in this area. They refer to it as American Renaissance. It's definitely Renaissance Revival, Victorian, just beautiful. $10,000 for the set. And this shaving mirror is really quite spectacular too. So they really have some incredible stuff here. The Chinoiserie stand here, this is really sweet with the basket underneath. Yeah, they have some very special things here. And we're in farm country, so some of this sort of item as well. $165 is really a good price actually on this. But if your tastes are fancier, you could go for the big lamp here. This is priced at $29.75 from about 1910. And it just goes on and on. They really do have beautiful things here. I can see why they're taking their time. Look at the carriage with a sleigh style. Painted with 22 karat gold. They said it's Dutch. It's hand painted. We don't see a lot of this kind of painted furniture. They have a little bit of information about this that they are showing here of similarly painted items. A popular theme, obviously. That's just beautiful. $11,500. And there's the glitziest ladylike lamp I've ever seen. Shakespeare plate by Roland and Marsalius. They didn't just do American stuff. And we have some beaded purses here. A little bit of jewelry. I don't see anything too impressive, although this looks interesting. Gonna look at this flask here. Thank you. Nice thing about filming is I can use it as a magnifier, and that looks like it's okay. It's not a monogram. Yeah, I like that too. These were given out by Franklin Institute, and they are light sensitive,
Like I said, when they were built,
photoactive. Up there, it's a radiometer. They're really neat. Look at it spin.
Yeah, that's legit.
And
That's
they're
it was
pretty desirable now. They were blown glass. They were getting the kids. A lot of them got broken.
just
They've
as
got
basic-
60 on
basic
this
as
one.
you're getting.
And there's the box. That's excellent.
But yeah, they're
See, that helps a lot. A real silver motor. We're still working on it.
fabricating parts.
I always like old sanitizer cabinets, and
I probably ain't gonna do nothing
this one
here
is an
for
interesting
a year now.
configuration, probably built in at a doctor or barber shop. I really do like the vintage lamps here. I think those are really cool from the 1920s. Little boudoir lamps. I know people who would love those. They're $95 for the pair. Not a bad price at all, but not enough for me.
We're open this week.
This is nice. Yeah, I'm not sure how this would be attached. That's the only problem. If I had the skills to put that back together, I'd buy it because it looks like it's all there, and that could be a $100 purse easily. And we'll Crocs galore. Now, these might be something they'd want to move because these are all nice, but they're big and heavy and they're not old and super valuable. Carriage House Antiques is going to continue to exist. The younger fellow is going to move smalls in, and the fellow with the furniture is moving north. The great thing is they were selling off that glass inventory for someone, and so they were able to make me a really nice deal. I just got a $500 to $700 piece of Salviati for $200, and the rest of it was practically free. I'm so thrilled. So it just goes to show, if you're in the middle of everywhere or the middle of nowhere, you can find deals. And this has been a fun day. We didn't find any deals at the thrift store, but we found deals in the middle of nowhere. And so you just keep on moving in this business and have a lot of fun. That's why I'm a nomad.
If you enjoyed this video, check out this one. Also, click thumbs up to like this video and check the description for information about our Patreon, our memberships. We've got a lot of different levels with different perks and bonus videos and early content. Also, please do check out our website, theantiquenomad.com, for appraisal help. And we'll see you again for more adventures in the antique and vintage community soon. Bye for now.